Okay, good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to one and all. Thank you for joining us for this 5-day faculty development program on framework and implementation of NEP 2020. I am Dr. Dalia Sam, Professor, Department of Information Technology, Dr. MGR, Educational and Research Institute. There's a quote that says, "Never stop learning because life never stops teaching." Over the past 2 days, we have dwelled into the key principles of this transformative National Education Policy 2020 and its impact on the education ecosystem. Today, we are going to take a slightly significant step forward as we explore the integration of research and innovation into our curriculum, which is an essential step in NEP 2020. NEP seeks to foster creativity, critical thinking, and problem solving skills among students. To start today's proceedings, I invite Mr. Shankar, Sir, Assistant Professor, to deliver the welcome address.
Very good morning to all. I am audible. Hello?
Yes, sir, you're
Hello,
audible.
ma'am?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
ma'am.
you're.
Yeah, very good morning to all. This is N. Shankar, Assistant Professor, Department of IT, Dr. MGR Education Research Institute. கற்க கசடர கற்பவை கற்றபின் நிற்க அதற்கு தக கற்க தரும் நூல்களை பிழையில்லாமல் கற்க கற்ற பிறகு கற்ற கல்விக்கு ஏற்ப நல்ல வழியில் வாழ்க. Respected Dynamic HOD, Department of Information Technology, and Dean Student Affairs, Dr. N. Kanya Ma'am, esteemed resource person, Dr. Jabarani Evangeline, Associate Professor and HOD, SNS College of Engineering, Coimbatore, valued participants and dear colleagues. It is with great pleasure and excitement that I welcome you all to this virtual faculty development program on framework and implementation of NEP 2020. Though we are connecting virtually today, the spirit of collaborations, learning, and growth knows no boundaries. In these transformative times, education has witnessed rapid changes. As educators, our ability to adapt and innovate and enhance our skills is more crucial than ever. This program is designed to empower us with the latest pedagogy tools, cutting edge research insights, and practical strategies to not only meet but exceed of our students and institutions. We are honored to have with us distinct experts and facilitators who bring wealth of knowledge and experience. It will guide us in exploring new perspective and reimagines the way we teach and engage our students. I extend my heartfelt thanks to the organizing committee, convener Dr. N. Kanya ma'am, coordinators Dr. S. Selvi Ram and Mrs. C. Sarmla ma'am for their dedication in putting their program together, ensuring that every aspect is seamless executed. To the participants, your enthusiasm and commitment to professional development and truly commendable, and I am confident that your active involvement will make this program a resounding success. Remember that it's not just a program, it is a journey towards excellence, innovation, and the betterment of educations. Thank you all for joining us today. Wishing everyone an enriching and fruitful experience ahead. Let us begin. Thank you. Thank you for all.
Thank you, sir. Let me quickly brief the guidelines for our participants. So we expect active participation from all the participants for all 5 days. So feedback link will be posted towards the end of the session. It will be active for 20 minutes. It will be posted only in the YouTube chat box. It will not be posted in the WhatsApp group or by mail. So just registration is not an eligibility for certification. E-certificates will be provided only for active participants based on feedback submission. You can post your queries in the chat box. It will be answered by our guest speaker towards the end of the session. Please avoid unnecessary discussion in the chat box. Uh, Before we get into the session for today, let me call upon Mr. A.P. Babu, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, to introduce today's esteemed speaker. Over to you, Babu, sir.
Good morning, madam. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. FDP. My name is AP Babu, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Technology, Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute, Madurai. And I have the privilege of introducing our today's speaker, Dr. Jabrani Evangeline, yes, who is the Associate Professor and Head Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, SNS College of Engineering, Coimbatore. She has attended and presented various national and international conferences and published various journals and book chapters. She has published 4 product-based patent and granted 2 design-based patent from UK. She has got Research Excellence Award for the year 2022 by Institute of Scholars and Star Performer Award for the year 2022 by SNS Institutions and Best Reviewer Appreciation Award received from the Journal of the Institution of Engineers. She has various membership in professional bodies like ISTE, ISEEE, Institute of Scholars, IEEE, and IA Engineering Canada. She has served as reviewer in various international journals. She has participated as resource person in various technical seminar given given guest lectures. She has organized various workshops and seminars in national and international level. Thank you, ma'am. I hand over to ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Once again, let me say you can post your queries anytime during the session in the chat box. It will be answered towards the end. So, as sir said, we are privileged to have with us Dr. Jabrani Evangeline, who will be handling on the topic integration of research and innovation into curriculum. So, I hand over the session now to Jabrani ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Dalia. Good morning, all. I thank the management of MGR University and the Department of Information Technology for organizing such a wonderful FDP in this topic. And I'm privileged to present my lecture on the topic integration of research and innovation in the curriculum. I'm going to share whatever knowledge I have in this area, and hope this will inspire or it will be beneficial to all the audience. You must be aware of the famous quote by Nelson Mandela, right? Education is the powerful weapon with which we can change the entire world. Yes, with good education, we can change the entire world. A good nation, a strong nation will have a good education. All the citizens of that particular nation will be well educated. That's the main thing. That's the good asset of a country also. And if we take up why we have a educational policy, right? Why do we need an educational policy, right? All these things we have to think about it. In our country, we have a lot of colleges and universities, and at the end of by the end of 2022, we have nearly 45,473 colleges and universities in our country. But though we have such a high number of colleges and universities in our country, the literacy rate is very poor. And if you go with the literacy rate, the gross enrollment rate, the gross enrollment ratio of our country is very very poor. it is approximately 43. For our country, it is 63.7 only, right? And if you take up the eligible enrollment ratio, right, it is 26%. So 63.7% of the students who complete their schooling get enrolled in higher education. Not all, right? So there is a huge dropout over here, right? Considering all this major issue, the country came out with educational policy which can bring the rate of which can enrich the enrollment rate to 100%. Okay, right? So that is why the country came out with a good policy, good and sound educational policy, and we call it as national education policy. If you take up the evolution of national education policy, it evolved long back, right? In the 1900 itself, it evolved. And if you take up the few notable education policies we have, right, in 1968 we had a national policy on education by Madam Indira Gandhi, and she came out with a lot of reforms in education. And like in 1986, we had a new education policy, focusing on adult education and empowerment of minorities. Right, in 1992 also we had a revised national education policy, NEP, by our late Prime Minister V. Narasimha Rao. They add a lot of what to say, entrance test in the education policies, and the professional educations, like a lot of what to say, in governance also they brought a lot of changes that led to a lot of educational institutions in our country. In 2005 also, revised education policy was announced by our late Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. And in 2016 we had another revised version of education policies. And in 2020 we have national education policy, NEP, right, with lot of reforms on school education and higher education. And if you take up the glimpse, like we focus everywhere, we focus on NEP 2020. NEP 2020 focuses mainly on the school education, right? If there is, we have to improve the gross enrollment ratio to 100%. So the dropout should be less, right? So keeping it in mind, they came out with a big revamp on the educational policies. The revamp was a big one. And if you take up the main aspects or main principles of national education policy, right, they concentrated on the curriculum and pedagogy and the policies related to the school education. They concentrated on equity and inclusion also. And community participation was considered to be the most important one. And the use of technology in teaching as well as learning was considered to be another important factor. And emphasis on conceptual learning, right? So more emphasis should be given on conceptual understanding. So examination patterns have to be reformed, right? Instead of having a long exam for 3 hours, the student should have a continuous assessment pattern and a formative assessment pattern where it will lessen the burden of the students, and the students' ability can be easily assessed. And if you take up the next key principle, like the capabilities, we should the teachers should understand the capabilities or recognize the capabilities of each individual. So more emphasis is given for the student ability and recognizing their talent. And the next key principle is the critical thinking and the creativity of the student. Whatever education they undergo, right, it should enhance the critical thinking and creativity. So a lot of boosting should be given for logical decision making and innovation. And the next key principle was continuous review, right? Through sustained research and regular assessment, how do we make the whole education a fruitful one? So like considering these eight principles, like NEP 2020 was launched, and it was a lot of emphasis was given for the school education. If you take up the school education, the pedagogy structure of the school education, the curricular pattern and the pedagogy structure, like earlier we had it as 10 plus 2, right? They didn't give a lot of importance for the kindergarten. Now, like more emphasis is given on the foundational stage, right? The first 5 years it is considered to be the foundational stage. The next 3 years is considered to be the preparatory stage. Then from class 6 to class 8 is considered to be the middle stage, and class 9 to 12 is considered to be the secondary stage. And when they enter into the higher education, that is going to be considered to be the tertiary stage, right? And more emphasis is given, right? Is given to the foundational stage. So when it comes to the foundational stage, like instead of having the regular like a regular pedagogy, they made it as an activity based learning. So when it becomes an activity based learning, the learning ability of the student gets improved, and it will not make the kid boredom with these subjects and all, right? They need not carry big bags to the schools at the early stages itself. And when it comes to the preparatory stage also, right, the student will be able to undergo the classroom learning through activity and interactive learning. When it becomes an interactive learning, their fundamentals are going to be enriched, right? We can make the fundamentals rich for them. And once the fundamentals are, when they are very strong in their fundamentals, automatically the learning, it becomes very interesting for them. And in the middle stage, if it is going to be an experiential learning for them, then learning science or learning a multidisciplinary subject, it becomes very easy for them, right? So they will not have any aversion for maths or for science. That's the main thing, right? So experiential learning is emphasized in the middle stage of school education. When it comes to secondary education, right, multidisciplinary emphasis is given on the multidisciplinary learning. So when it becomes a multidisciplinary, automatically, right, greater focus will be on the critical thinking, and the student will have the flexibility to choose their subjects. So the choice is given in the secondary stage itself. When it becomes a choice based, then we can have more occasional trainings given, which will improve the opportunity, job opportunity for the like a secondary level students also. When it comes to the when it comes to the school education, right, the NEP focuses on raising the gross enrollment ratio, right? So another 50% it has to be increased. So we have to make the all the school secondary education students, whoever complete their secondary education students, right, to get enrolled in higher education also. And the number of schools also will be or number of seats in the schools also will be increased to increase the enrollment ratio. Okay, so by 2030, right, we can find we can anticipate more higher value of gross enrollment ratio by 2030. That's the main agenda of NEP. When it comes to college education, when it comes to college education, the college education, higher education, or the college education that we deal with, right? It is going to be of a higher level. When we like strengthen our school education, then automatically to combat the school education, even the higher education should be strengthened, right? So when it comes to higher education, there must be more opportunity for interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary education and holistic education. And there must be a flexibility in the curriculum should be flexible. That is why we have choice based credit systems. And when we have choice based credit system, automatically there is a high feasibility for credit transfer. So a student can do courses in two institutions, like instead of having completing the 4 years of course or 3 years of course in one institution, they can participate, they can register in two institutions and complete the whole course. So transfer of credits also it is possible. And now we currently we have two governing bodies taking care of the higher education. So when it comes to higher education, you have UGC, University Grant Commission, and for taking care of all the university affiliations, all the primary policies relating to higher education, that is drafted by UGC. But in the case of technical education, we have another body called as AICTE, right, taking care of the technical education. So in the new NEP policy, it talks about one body which is going to be unification of UGC and AICTE. So one body will talk about, will take care of the policies for higher education, both in technical or in arts or in science or in medical, right? So this whole thing is going to, one body can take up the whole thing. And a lot of emphasis is given for research and innovation. Research is going to be the backbone of a country. For any country, a country's development, research plays a vital role. So research and innovation, right? The more focus is given on research and innovation also. And we very well know that NEP focuses on digitalization of teaching learning process. That is why you have a lot of teaching tools, digital tools introduced in while teaching, as well as for assessment also. And we have more opportunities for open learning as well as for distant learning, right? So you have a lot of MOOC platforms available nowadays, right, to study any concept of your interest. And like integration of technology in education plays a vital role. So that is why you have a lot of technological tools being used in our pedagogy. And we have the technology also, IoT or AI or or to say data science being integrated to our studies also. And a lot of encouragement is given for Indian languages, use of Indian languages. We can come across few courses, few universities are offering even the technical education in their native language. That is also possible. And a lot of scope, like financial support is given for the students who come on, who come from socio-economic, economic poor economic background, right? So for such people also, you have there is a lot of focus given on the financial support. And a lot of preference is given on skill development and vocational education, right? So vocational training is integrated with the if it is going to be integrated with the higher education itself, then finding a job for the candidate, it becomes very easy. If their skills are enriched, automatically job hunt becomes very easy for the candidate. That's the main thing. So when it comes to higher education, right, the spectrum is wide, and there are a lot of opportunities for the students to enrich themselves. And if you go with the focus, if you take up the focus, the government has introduced the academic bank of credits, right? Like ABC is Academic Bank of Credits is encouraged to be followed by all the universities as well as the institutes, and so once this ABC is invoked, automatically the student can carry out their study both in national as well as international institutes. So if it is if they undergo a 4 year of graduate study, first 2 years if they undergo in their country, then they can switch over to any overseas or any abroad university to carry out their third year and fourth year to complete their graduate study. That is also possible. And when it comes to research and innovation, focus is given for research and innovation also. We have National Research Foundation, right? Previously it was called as SERB. Now we have it as Anusudan National Research Foundation, that was established to foster the research culture in our engineering education, right, or in the science education. Okay, right. So more emphasis is given for transfer of credits, multidisciplinary study, and research initiatives. So these are the main things in the case of NEP for a higher education. When you go with higher education, when you go with the higher education, when the school education is strengthened with lot of initiatives, with a lot of reforms, then even the higher education has to be reformed. Okay, right. So that is very essential, because higher education, it leads to a standard adult education as well as a lifelong learning for the candidate. So even the higher education has to be with foundational literacy and numeracy, right? A lot of emphasis should be given on critical life skills. Vocational skill development is very important, and basic education should be there, and continuing education also should be encouraged, right? So that's the main thing in higher education. In a nutshell, if you put both the school as well as the higher education together, right, we can categorize it under seven highlights. We can, if you say that a highlight of NEP 2020 is, like, we can write it in 7 points, right? One is holistic and multidisciplinary education. Second one, right, early childhood care and education. So more important is given for school education here. Flexible board examinations, then higher education reforms, right? They concentrate on higher education reforms also. Teacher training and professional development is another focus, and use of technology in education, and skill development and vocational education. So these are the seven highlights of NAP with respect to school education as well as the higher education. So right, so such an importance is given, and this NEP has led, outcome of NEP is a lot of changes. We can find a lot of changes in our education policies, right? You come across a lot of lot of like reforms in every state education also, right? If you take up AICTE, they have launched a Parak scheme to strengthen the basic science and math fundamentals of higher education student. In the case of state policies, if you take it up, they have come out with Kalluri Kanavugal for school education, and non Mudalvan scheme for higher education. So if you take up non Mudalvan scheme and all, they all the features of non Mudalvan will match with NEP 2020, such a way that all the students of the country are benefited with the NEP that was launched in 2020. And if you take up the thrust area, right, the most thrust areas of NEP 2020, skill development and employability is a major factor. Next to skill development and employability, you have research and innovation, research, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So, like that is why you have a lot of opportunities for entrepreneurship. Government has launched a lot of schemes, startup. Like if you take up our Tamil Nadu government, they have launched with TN Startup. So a lot of funding is given for young entrepreneurs who do their like their entrepreneurship journey, who has taken up that entrepreneurship journey. And so more focus is given for entrepreneurship also. So research and innovation, right? It is inevitable one in any phase, right, of education. And if you take up how much country spends, how much our country spends on R&D, right? If you take up the spend level, right? How much they invest, or how much they spend expenditure of research and development, gross expenditure for research and development, you call it as GERD, GERD value, right? GERD value, it is going to be expressed in terms of as percentage of GDP, right? If you take up the graph that you have, the bar chart that you have in the left side, that deals with the situation in 2018, before NEP was launched. Before NEP was launched, what was the GERD level, right? If you take up India, right? If you take up India, the in 2018, GERD, the value of GERD was 0.66% of GDP, right? So only 60, what to say, less than 1% of a country's economy, GDP was spent, right? Was spent for research and development. And whatever curve that you see, bar graph that you see in the right side also, it says the same level, right? When you compare it with the other countries, they spend more amount for their research and development, but our country is spending only 0.65%. This is as on 2023, and the left side one, it was as on 2018, right? So the percentage level is right, it is the same, right? Roughly around 0.65% only is percent of GDP is spent for research and development. But if you take up the composition of GERD as percentage contribution by sector, when you compare it with other countries, India spends nearly 56% of their GERD percentage for higher education. So they give a lot of emphasis for higher education research. So out of 0.66% of GDP, in that 0.66% GDP, 56% is spent, right? 56% is spent. That is roughly around 0.35% of GDP is spent for higher education research. So that's the participation of India in higher education research. And other countries, they give very less percent, 10% or 34%. But here we give 56% for the higher education. So higher education research, it gains the nation's nations, it has attracted the nation's view. And more emphasis is given for that. And if you take up our research, if you take up the research and innovation productivity of our country, if you take up the research and innovation productivity, when you compare it with the other countries, pioneer countries, if you take up, The researchers per million, if you take up the active researchers, full-time active researchers per million, it is 262 only. Whereas in other countries, the number is very high. If you take up Korea and all, nearly around 9,000 researchers per million of inhabitants. Out of 1 million, 1 million people, 9,000 are active researchers. Whereas in our country, out of 1 million, only 262 active researchers are found, right? That is a very small, that is a very pathetic scenario here. Whereas the number of phds that is produced annually, right, we produce more number of phds, that is degree race, doctorates that we produce every year, both in science and technology, as well as maths and like what to say business, like how to say management studies, everything. Considering all, right, we produce around 41,000 PhDs every year. Like other countries, the number of PhDs is very less, right? But here we rank third position. We rank third position. So if you take up the same Korea, right, the annual PhDs produced is very less only. So we have academic research, more of academic research, right, then the applied research. That's the main understanding that we can get from this particular table. So more we focus more on academic research than the applied research, right? That's a very pathetic one. It should be vice versa. See, other countries, they are able to come out with more applied research than academic research. So that is why their economy is far better than ours, right? So this there should be a vice versa over here. And if you take up the publications also, we are very rich in publications. And recently you would have come across the top 2% ranking and all from Stanford, right? So in that also, our Indian citations have gained a lot of attraction. We can find more number of people from India, right? I would say lined in that particular top 2% citations also. So in that also we don't lag anything. We are able to come out with quality academic research. That's the indication. And when it comes to the number of patents that was granted, the commercialization of patents, when it comes to commercialization of patents and patents granted, our level is very less, right, when compared to the other countries. So other countries, they give a lot of emphasis for innovation, right? Innovation, they are able to give emphasis for innovation, but our innovation level, global innovation level also, it is very less. So we are able to produce more academic research, right? We are focused more on academic research than the applied research. That's the main thing, right? So the condition has to be vice versa. So NEP focuses on applied research than the academic research. And like a survey was conducted, whether any other international, like any other international citizen was willing to carry out their research in India, right? When that such survey was conducted, nearly 46% of the international citizens, they have said that India is a favorable place for conducting research. So India has got the infrastructure, the knowledge, knowledge source is very high in India. And they have said that 46% of people have said that India is the best place for for carrying out research. Most of our Indian students, they go to overseas to carry out their doctoral studies or postdoctoral studies. But we have rich resources in our country itself to carry out postdoctoral or doctoral research. That's the main thing, right? That is that perspective view is missing among our citizens. That's a very pathetic one. And if you take up any regulatory bodies governing the higher education, right, whether policy making bodies or regulation making bodies or accrediting bodies, all focus on research and innovation, right? So whether it is AICTE or NBA or NAC, right, every regulatory body, they focus more on research, right? They focus more on innovation, and the attributes also, right? They give more what to say points for research and innovation, right? So that like so the need of research and innovation has been accepted nationwide, right? It has to be enforced in higher education. When it comes to the curriculum part of our education, when it comes to curriculum part of education, if you take up engineering study, previously, if a graduate undergoes an engineering study, they need to study 55 to 60 subjects, or later in 2000 it was 200 credits to be earned. Nowadays, no, like after NEP was launched, the credits were reduced, right? From 180 it was reduced to 160, right? So more focus is given for reduced curriculum. And if you take up a mechanical engineering program, this was the model curriculum that was proposed by AICTE, right? This is the revised one, this revised in 2023. They propose around 160 credits, and out of 160 credits, 16% of credits is given for project work, seminar, and internship. There is 10% of the credit score is given for project work, seminar, and internship. And nearly another 18 credits, another 10%, 12% is given for professional education and open elective. So when nearly 20% of their academic credit focuses on more scope for research and innovation, then the higher studies also can we can come out with I would say applied research, right, in engineering education also. When it comes to arts, like especially with management curriculum, right, the management curriculum can be offered in two modes, right? Either as a 3-year course, or it can be offered as a 4-year course. When it offered as a 3-year course, the total credit is around 120, and for a 4-year course it is going to be 160 credits. So when it comes to 120 credits, more emphasis is given for this skill enhancement and discipline specific electives. So when these credits are very high, nearly around 40 credits is given for skill oriented and discipline specific electives. There is one third of their total credits is given for that. Then there is ample opportunity for academic research over here. There is applied research over here also. And if they carry out BBA honors with research, then more higher opportunity is there. And when it comes to BCA also, the similar case exists. So even in the curriculum, we emphasis on research and innovation, right? Research and innovation. But what is the main problem? The curriculum, the national education policy also, it fosters research and innovation, right? The curriculum based on that, based on the outline of NEP, whatever curriculum that was framed also, right, that encourages research and innovation. But what is the main challenge in our present higher education? That is the students, like if you take up a class of 60, right, nearly 20%, nearly 20% of students, they lack critical thinking, right? They lack critical thinking. They don't think on their own, right? They simply, right, try to copy what is given in the textbook, right? They don't think anything beyond that, right? So there is lack of critical thinking is the this is the major problem that hampers the present higher education, right? So we need to like what to say address this particular issue, right? This particular issue. When you when you emphasize on critical thinking, automatically, right, it will help the student to improve their decision making. Right, most of our students, they lack in decision making, right? They just simply, if two members say one answer, right, they think that that answer is correct. They don't think beyond that. Okay, right, so that's the main issue, right? So when they have critical thinking, automatically it will help them to come out with good decision making. The problem solving ability of the student also, it will improve, and it will refine their research skills. It will make them to find, go beyond their level, right, and identify the possibility, right? Then it will enrich their creativity, and it will stimulate their curiosity also, right? So we need to imbibe this critical thinking in every student that who come across our way. That's the main thing. So when it comes to critical thinking, what are the skills that we need to imbibe? First, we have to make the student to, which is like observe the problem, right? We have to make them to observe the problem. So observation skill is very important. If the student has that observation skill, then automatically, right, he is not deprived of critical skill, right? His skill has to be activated. So the first thing that is needed is observational skill, right? Second one is the analytical skill that is needed. Most often when we ask students about any course, right, they always says that the analytical subjects are very tough, right? When they see equation, or when they see mathematical numbers, they simply switch off their mind. But we can trigger their analytical skill. Once their analytical skill becomes strong, then automatically, right, invoking the research skill, it becomes very easy. Then how they infer, right, based on observation and based on analysis, how they infer, right, that has to be given to them, right? Sometimes, no, they may be good in observation and analysis, but if they are not able to infer, if they are not able to come out with the right understanding, right, it will the whole process, it becomes void, right? So inference also, it is very important. And if the student has got observational skill, analytical skill, and inference, if they are able to come across with these three skills, then communication, it becomes very easy, right? If we educate them with a proper with the proper reporting formats, then they can easily communicate their findings. Then the whole process, problem solving, it becomes very easy, right, when they have all these four skills. So as teachers, right, we need to imbibe this critical skill thinking, right, with the in the minds of a student. And when it comes to when this research skills are there, automatically, right, research based learning, it becomes very easy, right? So in our pedagogical approach, right, if we do a slight change, then we can easily imbibe this research skills in our students also, right? You can have two approaches. One is student based approach, and other one is faculty based approach, right? If I always deal with a chalk and board, then it becomes a faculty based approach, right? But when it becomes with a lot of activities, then it becomes a student based approach. So like we have these four approaches. One is research tutored, research based, then research oriented, research led, right? So when it becomes a research tutored, when it becomes a research tutored and research based, students are the active participants. So they act, so it's going to be a student focused learning, right? The whole learning itself, it is a student focused learning. And when it is a research tutored, you can engage the students in group discussion, right? We can educate them, right? It is one way of passive education, right? It is one way of passive education. We make the students to think, right? So right, that is a research tutored education. So, or we can say that it is a research tutored learning also. When it becomes a research based learning, right? When it becomes a research based learning, right, it is inquiry based, right? So you would have come across inquiry based learning, IQL, IBL, inquiry based learning. So it is a student centric approach, right? So based on the student, you give the activities, right? And we frame the questions, right, such a way that they come out with the answer for these questions. So it is a research based. So right, lot of focus is given for research and inquiry, right? Research oriented means automatically student becomes frequently the students becomes the audience. And that, like when it is a research oriented, the we focus on developing the research and inquiry skills of the students. When it is a research led, automatically right, like what to say, we give focus on the current research topics. So suppose if it is going to be currently, we give a lot of emphasis for disruptive technologies such as IoT or AI, right? So we can say, we can make the students to come out with how AI is applied to their particular discipline of study, right? So if it is going to be a mechanical engineering, they can say how AI can be used for mechanical engineering, or how it can be used for manufacturing process, or how AI can be used for lean sigma process, or lean sigma analysis, right? If it is going to be electrical, right, how it can be used for their power systems. So in that way, it can be related. So that will lead to a multidisciplinary focus. When it comes to, when you take up the nexus between the teaching and research, right? So if we focus on the content, if we focus on the content, that is, we'll focus on research results, research methodology on the research process. So process will be highlighted, right? Whatever research question we have, based on the research question, the entire process flow will be there, right? But if it is going to be a research method, what method you have to solve the particular question, right? What are the methods that we can apply to solve the research question? So more focused on the methods. And when it comes to the research results, systematically we can work on the literature and get the research results. So when it comes to this part, it is becomes a researching, right? The student gets actively involved in researching. But if you just get involved only in research, discussing the research results, then it is just applying, right? If you focus only on discussing the pros and cons of a research method, then it is a applying level only, right? Then if in the case of receiving, right, whatever results they present, we just simply receive it from their end. So we don't there is not much focus is given for their growth. And if you take up Bloom's, based on Bloom's, if you go with our research and teaching, right, if you go with level two, it is a research led. So where the factual knowledge and conceptual knowledge is going to be tested, right? If it is going to be level three, that is apply level, we go with only factual and conceptual knowledge. When it comes to analysis and evaluate, that is level 4 and level 5, right? It becomes a like amalgamation of conceptual and procedural knowledge. So we can give a case study there for analysis of for analyzing for analyze and evaluate. We can go with a case study. Right, for research oriented, we can give some presentations. For understanding level, we can give just a lecture. But if you need to go with the level 6, that is with the create level, then automatically you have to pose a research project. That is, we have to conduct, that is, we have to give a lot of emphasis on a research project. So that will be purely a research based. And so again, right, research tutored or research based, right? What are the activities that can be given, right? Given when students are considered as participants. In the case of research based, we can give student projects, we can analyze them, we can tell them to analyze thesis, we can give them we can tell them to participate in seminars with external cooperation partners. So there is, instead of giving a seminar in their campus, they have to go around, right? They have to go out of campus and give a seminar. So those activities will be a part of research based, right? If it is going to be research tutored, automatically you just engage them in discussion. So when we simply engage them in discussion, automatically it can be a seminar, right? It can be a class seminar. Or if we give some exercise, then it is going to be a research tutored. If it is going to be research led, right, there is, we give knowledge, that is more focus will be given on knowledge imparting only. So in that case, lectures, like exercises or seminars can be given. But if you want to have it as research oriented, then you have to make the labs to be more trivial, right? So normally when it is going to be a programming lab, if we give the programs, if we make the student to solve programs related to their list of experiments, then you can give additional programs right from lead code, right? So from lead code or from hacker rank, we can tell them to solve the problems, and whatever use cases they give, if they are able to solve such problems, then we make them to be industry ready candidate. We make them to be ready with their research, like what to say, sharpen their research skill. Then the workshops also, we can make it to be a research oriented workshops, right? So when you conduct a 3 days workshop or 5 days workshop for the students, right, at the end of the workshop, if they are able to come out with their own project, with their built-in project, then their research the skill will be enhanced. And if you take up the pedagogical formats, that is, I have already touched on this. The next one is the digital tools that can be used in research-based learning. That is, we can for every or to say every activity, they can very well use different digital tools. So for presentation, right, for visualization, like when they give a lecture, when they for virtual lab, for study projects, they can use presentational tools. Educational videos can be used for investigation. For collaboration, they can use discussion tools. For voting, right, and for communication, there is they can use voting tool, right? Mind mapping tools can be used for investigation. So management tools also they can very well use. So different digital tools are also available for for carrying out the learning. When it comes to a project, when normally in an engineering curriculum, right, we give them 2 credits minimum at least to carry out a mini project, and we have a semester for 16 weeks, and we can split the 16 weeks into 4 modules, and we can make them to complete their project. A small research oriented project can be given to them. So the module one can so first 4 weeks we can concentrate on the module one, where they derive the research questions. Second month, that is fifth week to eighth week, they can focus on research design, and ninth week to 12th week they can collect the data related to their project, that is for the research project. And 13th week to 16th week they can analyze, interpret, and present the data. So in that way we can make a student to come, or to say, to carry out a research project, right, in their curriculum, right, in their curriculum. And innovation also, right, innovation also, it plays a significant role in the life of a student. So we know, right, innovation is right, application of new solutions, right. So application of new solutions that meets new requirement. So in the olden days we had telephone. When we say telephone, right, we always see it as a hand, the olden telephone with wired telephone only, right. If it is a computer, right, we saw it as a big room sized computers. Nowadays we have laptops, palm tops, and all, right. So a lot of innovation is going on, right, in our country. And if you take up the global innovation index, like in 2023, as on 2023, our country stands in 40th position. So previously in 2015 we were in 80th position. If you take up the global index value of our innovation, we were ranking in 80th position in 2015. Whereas in 2023, we came out to 40th position, this 40th position. And if you see index, if you see the index, we rank in the same position. So 2022 also we rank in 40th position. For in 2023 also we rank in the 40th position only. Why this index is very, we have seen a predominant growth in our innovation, like after this make in India policies were introduced. We are able to see a considerable growth in our innovation. And that is why our position has gone up in the 40th ranking. And if you take up innovation, right, innovation, it could be anything, right? It could be a product, or it could be a technology innovation, or it could be a business model innovation, or it could be an organizational innovation, or marketing innovation, networking innovation, or a process innovation. How we engage the customer, or customer retention process. So innovation can be in any of these areas, right? It can be any of these areas. It need not be, the moment when we say innovation, we always consider it to be a product, right? It need not be with a product alone. It could be of anything, right? Any of these areas. So 8 areas, right? Product, technology, business, organizational, marketing, network, process, and customer engagement. So in any of these areas, we can have a innovation. So let me just give you a few examples of innovation. So whenever it was like early days, right? If they have to, right, if it is a lawn, right? Lawn making is it was a big task, right? You have to involve a lot of manpower, right? To cut the grasses and all. Right now you have a lawn mower, right? So which can make the lawn neat, right, within 1 or 2 hours, right. Previously lasers was used only for the medical purpose, right. Nowadays, no, you see a laser being installed in a presenter also. In business models also you have innovation being carried out. In organizational structure, right, you have innovation. In marketing strategy also you have a innovation. when like years before, 20 or 30 years before, when you talk about marketing, right, we didn't have this digital marketing, right? So everywhere they have to take up their bags, people have to walk around everywhere to promote their product. But now if you have a mobile and internet connectivity, and if you are creative, then you can launch your product on internet. So this digital like innovation, this digital marketing also, it is a biggest innovation in marketing technology. And networking, when we say networking, right, we always consider it to be a hardware networking. But networking in every process is in every process, like it is a innovation. So how we network with the universities, or how a student networks, collaborates with the foreign university students. So all those things can be considered to be another innovation process also, right? In one process, right, if it is in olden days, the process was a long process. Nowadays you have, with the advent of technology, right, you have all the process to be simplified, right? Like I would say 30 years before, if we have to book a ticket, we have to go to the railway, either to the railway station or the booking station, or the bus stand to book our tickets. Nowadays, no, with our apps and all, we are able to book our tickets easily, right? So that's a very important one, right? So that is also a process innovation. So like a lot of innovations are, like you can have a lot of innovations, that is, you can have different types of innovations like that. But when we talk about research and innovation, we always talk about the biggest challenge. It is about the funding, right? So when we say, why can't you come out innovate a product, then the student will come out with a reason, with a lame reason. The cost is very high and all, right? So but we can motivate our students to come out with frugal innovation, right? Frugal innovation, right? It is when you say frugal innovation, it is a process of reducing the complexity, reducing the complexity and cost of goods and its production. So if you are able to come out with the same product at a reduced cost, right, and with less complexity, then we can call the product to be a frugal innovation, right? So when it comes to frugal innovation, right, a lot of there is a lot of constraints are given. There is the overall cost should be low. There should be a value creation. That functionality should be very simple. Then the number of resources, right, the resources that we use, it should be of native resources, right? We should be able to develop from the scratch. That's the main thing. Okay, right? So these are the constraints that we consider for a frugal innovation. And when it comes to frugal innovation, right? In the customer point of view, right, we give a value proposition. And when it comes to the ownership, then there is affordable cost. The cost is going to be very less, then minimal use of resources. So when you consider all these three factors, right, the product should be acceptable to the regulatory standards. Then it should be viable for digitalization also. The product should be sustainable, right? So all the four cases are should be possible. And when you take up the frugal innovation, place a constraint as of like three A's. We consider three A's. One is affordability, right? Second one is adaptability. Mhm. Affordability, adaptability, and third A is right. Mm, I'm sorry, I missed out. Right. So when it comes to this affordability, right, the innovation should be for a social innovation. It should be a social innovation. So the need of the society, right, should be addressed. Suppose if there is a water scarcity, and if you come out with a product which can address the water scarcity, then that becomes a social innovation, right? If it when you go with the institutional innovation, that is when you take up the process that is involved, right? So the what are the movements that are in considered for that institutional innovation? That's very important. And resource, when it comes to technology part of the frugal, then the resource constraints, it is very important. So when you have the three things, social innovation, institutional innovation, and technology innovation converging at one point, that becomes a frugal innovation. So when it comes to social innovation, the main process behind it is going to be the concept of design thinking, right? So the concept of design thinking is the backbone for any frugal innovation. So when it comes to design thinking framework, first, the problem of the society has to be considered. So we need to identify the problem of the society, and in a human centric approach, we have to do it and define the problem. Then right, we have to come out with the ideas and plans to solve the problem. Then third step is going to how to say come out with the a product which can address that particular social problem. Then fourth step is going to be testing. So test and evaluate. So when these four steps are undertaken, then automatically, right, wherever there is a fine tuning needed, then the social innovation is going to be a value added product. These are the examples of frugal innovation. We always look for a higher end smart refrigerators, which cost a very high amount, right? Which cost in lakhs, right? But if you take up the clay refrigerator that was proposed by Manshuk Bhai, that we call it as Miticool, right? Miticool, that costs around 2,500 for one piece. So if you spend 2,500, we can buy this particular refrigerator. It is going to do the function of the same refrigerator without any electricity needed. Right, when we think about an incubator, right, the normal incubator is costing around 1.5 lakhs. But the Sangvi, he came out with a low cost what to say cardboard incubator, right, that was costing only less than I think less than $1,000, right? So this was he came out with this product in Stanford when they launched a frugal innovation competition, and this product stood outstanding, and he got the funding for commercialization also. And we would have heard about the mobile phones, like in the we would like what to say in late 2010 and all. We had these mobile phones. So in keypad mobile phones, like Vodafone launched a solar panel, or to say solar powered mobile phone. But that never but that period that it was launched, no, it was the period where we had this smartphones emerging, so it never attracted the market, so that was a failure. But still the innovation was remarkable there. Then we would have heard about this Jaipur food. He was able to come out with a low cost prosthetic limb, right? So if it is if you take up the normal prosthetic limbs, that will cost around 25 to 30,000 rupees, but he was able to come out with 6,000 rupees. And here, voice box by Dr. Lushar Rao, he came out with voice prosthetics. So if a person has if they have any problem with their vocal cord, Then even their voice audibility can be improved with this voice box. Then Manshuk Jahani came out with a plowing mission, right? So with what to say, he didn't have a tractor, right? But instead of a tractor, he used this bike itself as a tractor to plow the farm, his field. Then Spaden, right? It is a ECG machine, a matchbox shaped, sized ECG machine. So ECG machine normally, we go to the hospitals only. But if you look for a uh, own ECG machine, you can try this Spaden, right? So where in like you have a lot of examples for frugal innovation, so which will look for which will address the affordability, adaptability. Then the technology also is considered, the product was considered to be very lightweight, right? And you give focus lot, like what to say focus on using a lot of local materials. So when we encourage our students to go for a frugal innovation, I certainly believe that the innovation index of our country can go much higher. We can fall into the first 10 places, fall into first 10 places also. If you take up China, right? In China, if you take up the products, the innovation they carry out, they everything is a frugal innovation only, right? And if you take up, the cost is very cheap. And when they or to say when they export it to other countries also, the cost level is very cheap, they cheap also, right? So when it comes to frugal innovation, this can when we encourage our students to focus on frugal innovation, we can certainly come out with the better innovation level. So either a product innovation, we can see it either as a product innovation or as a process innovation. So they can come out with considerable innovations, right? The number of patents they that can be out of a frugal innovation can be higher, and commercialization also, it can be possible, right, with the frugal innovation. So I here I conclude that the research and innovation, they are part of our higher education, and they are the backbone of for higher education. And when we concentrate more on research and innovation, then automatically our country can come and I would say can stand high in the global level also. And which will instead of going from India to overseas for higher education, we can find a transfer, or what I say, transverse model. So we can expect students from US or Australia coming to our country for higher education. Thank you. Any questions? How can we apply design thinking for basic educational process? Please explain with an example, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. This is out of my experience. My campus is known for applying the concept of design thinking in our education itself. I had a big challenge of teaching field theory. That is a third semester paper, electromagnetic field theory for what to say, third semester triple E students. Right. In when it comes to design thinking, first we have to analyze the problem. Right. First we have to analyze the problem. That is the problem. We have to analyze in the perspective view of a student. So I did a empathetic study, right? Before teaching the subject, I did a empathetic study. I spoke to the previous batch students, and I just found out what are their problems, right? That paper is analytical, purely an analytical paper, right? And when I did an empathetic survey, I understood that the students, they lag knowledge in mathematical basics. Especially, it is offered at the third semester. We have lateral entry students also coming in, so they find it very hard to study that paper because of what to say, lack in mathematical. So they have to know what is Stokes theorem, what is Gauss theorem, what is divergence, gradient. So all these math fundamentals and all, right, they need to know, okay, right, for learning the subject. So like for few weeks, for nearly 2 to 3 weeks, I taught them only the max, right? Starting from integration, differentiation, then telling them what is a vector, what is a scalar, right? So I was nearly 3 weeks, I dealt only the math fundamentals, right? I dealt only the math fundamentals. And when we have to apply a single integral, when we have to apply a double integral, when you have to go with a triple integral. So all the math foundations were given to them. Then I started applying, right, when I went with the teaching the subject, right. I was just posing the questions, and I was able, because I was able to do a proper empathetic study. Then I was able to find out their problem. Then my idea of dealing the subject, right, it would become very easy for me. So when I dealt when I started teaching the subject, wherever that is possible, I'll ask them the question, whether they, which integral they have to use, right, whether it is a volume or surface, right, or area, right. So when such questions were posed to them, they were able to answer, because their math fundamental was what it was made strong, right. Then teaching the subject was very easy for me. And in that also, the application level, I was they were not able to understand the application level. So in the next batch, next year also, so my success percentage was very less for that particular batch. It was around 70% only. So in the next batch, right, I reiterated my process. So I just found not only strengthening their math background, I focused on their application knowledge also, right. Then automatically, I was able to get around a 90% result that time. So we can apply the concept of design thinking in our education, right, but it takes time, right. So because it's purely an iterative process, we can whatever idea that we use for our what to say, pedagogy, right, it may give you a right, what to say, favorable result, right. If it gives you a favorable result, then no issue. Otherwise, you have to retune, come out with a revised idea, and work on it. Yes, ma'am. 3A is, yes, ma'am. Accessibility. I missed it. I missed, there was a mistake in my in my presentation. I just in both the places I wrote it as affordability. It is accessibility. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? Okay, I think that's all with the question answer. So yeah, we are getting a lot of positive comments in the YouTube chat box. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am, Jabrani ma'am, for your very thought-provoking and enlightening session. So, your insights into how research and innovation can be integrated into the curriculum will definitely it'll be a good guide for all the academicians here to align. I mean, to implement in their academic practices as well towards achieving the vision of NEP 2020. So, as we come to the close of today's session, I call upon Mrs. Deepa to deliver the vote of thanks.
On behalf of the organizers, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to all of you for attending today's event. First and foremost, I would like to thank our esteemed speaker, Dr. Jabarani Evangeline, Triple HOD at SNS Coimbatore, for sharing her valuable insights and expertise on the topic of integration of research and innovation into curriculum was both informative and inspiring. And we are grateful for your contribution to the success of this event. I would also like to extend our heartfelt appreciation to our Honorable President, Engineer ACS Arun Kumar, for his unwavering support and guidance. Your leadership has been instrumental in shaping the success of our department and this event. Our sincere thanks go to our Vice Chancellor, Dr. S. Geeta Lakshmi, Registrar, Dr. C.P. Palanivel, Additional Registrar Dr. V. Cyril Raj, Advisor Dr. Mehta, and Dean ENT Dr. Etiraj for their vision and encouragement. Your guidance has been invaluable in bringing this event to the fruition. My heartfelt gratitude goes to my department head, Dr. N. Kanya, and my colleagues who have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to ensure the smooth running of this event. Your dedication and hard work are truly commendable. Once again, thank you to everyone who has contributed to the success of today's event. We hope that you have found it both enjoyable and beneficial.
Yeah, thank you, Deepa ma'am. As we come to a close of today's session, I thank every participant who have joined today. So the feedback link has been posted in the chat box. It will be active for 20 minutes. Please fill it before you leave. So we'll meet again tomorrow for the fourth day of our faculty development program. The schedule for tomorrow is on the topic faculty development and capacity building for NEP implementation. It will be handled by Dr. J. Bhavani, HOD, VIT Chennai. So we'll meet again tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Thank you once again. Have a great day.
Thank you, Dahlia ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute warmly welcomes you to a world-class educational campus that showcases excellent infrastructure facilities, housing various departments in diverse fields of study. Faculty of Engineering and Technology. Computer Science and Engineering, IBM Lab, R&D, Microsoft Lab, Sun Java Lab, .NET, CDAC Garuda, Internet Center, Cisco Net Academy, High-Tech Lab, Cyber Forensic Lab, Communication Lab, Electronic Circuits and Devices Lab, Linear Digital Integrated Circuits, Microwave and Optical Communication Lab, VLSI and Embedded System, DSP Lab, Microprocessor Lab, Electrical Machines Lab, Electrical Machines Lab 1 and 2, Digital Design Lab, Electronic Circuits Lab, Digital Simulation Lab, Linear and Digital Integrated Circuits Lab, Process Control Lab, LDIC Lab, LabVIEW, Process Control Lab, Mechatronics Lab, Dynamic Lab, IC Engines Lab, Metrology Lab, Metallurgy Lab, CAD Lab, CAM Lab, CNC Lathe, CAM Lab, CNC Milling Machine, Heat and Mass Transfer Lab, Welding Lab, Machine Shop Lab, Fluid Mechanics Lab, Fluid Mechanics and Machinery Lab, Survey Experiment, Survey Camp, Strength of Materials Lab, Concrete Lab, Soil Mechanics Lab, Structural Lab, Environmental Lab, Transportation Lab, CAD Lab, Biochemistry Lab, Autoclave, Microbiology Lab, DPT Research Lab, Tissue Culture Lab, Genomics Lab, Bioprocess Lab, Instrumentation Lab, Molecular Biology Lab, Downstream Processing, Physics Lab, Chemistry Lab, English Communication Lab, Research Lab 1, Research Lab 2, Faculty of Architecture, Lecture Hall, Architecture Studio 1, Architecture Studio 2, B-Arc Computer Lab, M-Arc Computer Lab, Photography Lab, Workshop B-Arc, Workshop M-Arc, Architecture Workshop, CRIT room, Material Museum. Faculty of Management Studies, a lecture hall. Computer lab, a library. Faculty of Computer Applications, Animation Lab. Computer Graphics and Multimedia, Advanced Java Programming Lab, Software Testing Lab, Web Technology Lab, Hotel Management and Catering Technology Department, Carving Display, F&B Training Restaurant, Advanced Training Kitchen, Practice Kitchen, Classroom, Training Hotel, Gode Manager and Ladder Lab, Indian Sweet Making Class, Seminar Hall, Table Setting Training Class, Banquet Training Hall, Training Bar, Training Reception, International Chef Day Celebration, Faculty of Health Science in Dental Surgery, Department of Oral Medicine and Radiology, Digital OPG, Intra-Oral X-ray, Skull X-ray, Department of Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery, Minor Operation Theatre, Department of Prosthodontics, Crowns and Bridge, Phantom Head Lab, Junior Prosthetics Lab, Department of Conservative and Endodontics, PG, UG, Phantom Lab, Department of Conservative and Endodontics, Department of Orthodontics, Department of Oral Pathology and Microbiology, Research Microscope, Museum Specimens, Oral Pathology Museum, Pedodontics and Preventive Dentistry, Public Health Dentistry, Department of Public Health Dentistry Camps, Department of Periodontology, UG, Mobile Van, Faculty of Health Science, College Lobby, Classroom, Anatomy Dissection Hall, Anatomy Histology Hall, Anatomy Museum, Biochemistry Students Practical Hall, Physiology Hematology Lab, Clinical Physiology Lab, Amphibian Lab, Morbid Anatomy Histopathology Lab, Pathology Research Room, Clinical Pathology Lab, Pathology Museum, Pathology Demo Room, Experimental Lab, Dispensing Room, Student Practical Room, Pharmacology Museum, Animal House, Microbiology, Practical Hall, Microbiology Museum, Research Lab, Community Medicine Laboratories, Community Medicine Museum, Forensic Medicine Museum, Forensic Medicine Laboratories, Cold Storage, Examination Hall, Hospital, OP Reception, ECG, Endoscopy Facility, Laparoscopy Facility, OBG, OPD, Colposcopic Labor Ward, Pediatric OPD, NICU, Ophthal OPD, Ophthal Operating Microscope, Surgery, CT Scan, Full Body X-ray, X-ray Facilities, Mobile X-ray, USG, Ortho OPD, C-Arm, ENT OPD, Audiometric Facility, Psychiatry OPD, Dermatology OPD, Operation Theatre 1, Operation Theatre 2, Operation Theatre 3, Operation Theatre 4, Operation Theatre 5, Operation Theatre 6, Operation Theatre 7, Operation Theatre 8, Operation Theatre 9, Dental OPD, Casualty Minor OT, ICU, IP Lobby, Female Ward, Male Ward, Physiotherapy Department, 24-hour Pharmacy, Central Laboratory, Blood Bank, Adayalampattu Urban Community Center, Parivakam Rural Community Center, Nazareth Pet Rural Community Center, CSSD, Laundry, MRD, Department of Nursing, Nursing Foundation Lab, Child Health Nursing Lab, Obstetrics and Gynecology Lab, a Nutrition Lab, Auditorium, Operation Theatre, Students doing procedure, Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, Workshop on Genetics, Lamp Lighting Ceremony, Nurses Day, Best Nurse Award, Department of Physiotherapy,
नमस्कार। अगर आप एक बिजनेस चलाते हो, then give me your 3 hours and I will change your business and life forever. Hi, my name is Dr. Amit Parekh and I know what I said is a very, very strong statement. But after training 100,000 business owners in India and abroad, I trust the system which I have developed over a decade, which anyone can use to transform their businesses completely. Growing a business is no magic and it never will be. What will exactly happen in these 3 hours, which will give you result? In the first hour, I'll break some myth every business owner has. No matter you're doing 10 lakh business or a 10 crore business, these myths are stopping you from growing your business faster. In the second hour, we will move ahead and I will teach you the structure and system on which you can build a fundamentally strong business and you can get it totally automated. And in the final hours, I will talk about how to generate real cash flow and accelerate the pace of your business with exact system that you can implement from day one, not wait for months and years